Go ahead and admit them all in here. All these AI note takers. What's up, everybody? Good to see y'all. Happy New Year. It's a good turnout for being a holiday, technically. Is New Year's Day a federal holiday?
I have
Like,
no idea.
do people get off work for New, like we're all
I think
business
so.
owners here, so I
I
guess
think
most
so.
of us are probably working, but um,
These are all the go-getters that want to, start their year off right.
heck
New Year's
yeah.
resolutions.
I'm
Yes.
actually haven't really told anybody this. I'm on a 5-day fast right now. Not that
Wow.
impressive yet. I'm only on day one, but if I can make it
It's
through, I'm doing like New Year reset. Like I watched a bunch of YouTube videos about fasting, and I've done fasts in the past, like 3-day fasts, and those are even 3 days was really tough. But I've
Five
heard
days. Whew.
I've heard, yeah, 3 days doesn't quite get you into like that ketosis, like your body wants to like get out all the bad cells and all like the dead cells in your body. And so you have to do 5 days, apparently, is what the doctors are saying on YouTube. So
Jasper, I do everything fast. I don't just eat fast.
you do everything fast.
There you go. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. That's funny. All
I'm
right, sorry,
fasting between meals.
what's that, Kevin?
I'm just fasting between meals. So wow.
You fast snack
Yeah,
time.
right.
Fast
Recipe
snack.
snack time.
Good to see you, Kevin. It's been a
You
while. How have
too.
things
Yeah, yeah.
been?
Good. Been busy. So that's a good thing. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm not quite licensed yet. I'm about a month away and I'll take
Oh,
my
okay. Yeah.
test and my
Okay.
written. So
Okay. Yeah. You soloed and all, right?
yeah, I've soloed a bunch of times. I did my couple cross country solos and so I'm
Okay.
feeling like pretty comfortable. I just need to practice some of my maneuvers and stuff for the check ride, but
Right.
and the written. I'm studying, taking a bunch of practice tests right now, and that's scheduled for the 15th. So I've really got to make sure I know my stuff before then so I can pass the first time.
So you got your check ride, but you haven't done the written yet?
No, written will be on the 15th and then check ride on the 30th. So, yeah,
Okay.
that's the plan.
I buy
How
everything, even all the military pilots. We get all our gouge from Shepherd Aviation out of Texas. So
you get
that's where you get
all of your what from them?
all of the gouge, all the study material. Shepherd Aviation. I'll send you a link.
Okay, awesome. That'd be super helpful. I'm going through
Yeah.
Sporty. Have you heard of Sporties before?
Yeah. This is better.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
good to know.
It's the gouge.
Awesome. All right. Well, I want to introduce y'all to my buddy Gavin here. He is actually one of my affiliates from like years ago, probably one of my first. And anyway, he was not a newbie whenever he was my affiliate. Like he had already built an agency beforehand, and he had just kind of learned about Go High Level and wanted to see what it was like. And so, anyway, that's evolved into a lot of other stuff. But yeah, Gavin, if you want to go ahead and take the floor, tell us maybe some more in depth of that quick backstory that I just gave, and then take it away with the stuff you wanted to show us today.
Sure, yeah. So been in the marketing space for a long time, started an agency from the ground up, focused on the real estate space. And we did it the hard way. I wish we knew about high level earlier because it does so many things that we had to like piece together multiple softwares together to make it happen. But we were able to scale that up. It's still running today. It's an awesome business, works really, really well. And I wanted to find a way to like start from zero, like do a kind of little challenge on my own, how quickly I could get to 10K a month in revenue on my own agency, kind of like that solopreneur journey. And that's where I came across Jasper's content, what he was doing, and became an affiliate underneath him, signed up and upgraded my plan and went kind of all in on that space. And it's led me to understand not only how to get customers, but how to keep customers. And then when you use high level, There is so many features in it. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming on what to focus on and where to attack with your business and your offer. I think Jasper does a really good job positioning like, hey, smart websites, like focus on this one thing to get in the door, and then you could always monetize that relationship as you go. And so, being that I had that experience in the marketing space and starting an agency, I've always built products and built companies on the side and launched stuff just to kind of see what was going on, and that's how I got into high level. And we were running into some issues in our business. So we have a SaaS company that was getting leads through high level. We would message these people and get them to show up. How many people here get people ghost you on your calendar constantly? I know it happens to me sometimes. Well, it's super frustrating. So we wanted to fix that issue. And I stumbled across, you want to just jump right onto everything?
Yeah, please
Okay,
do.
cool. So
To
I
your
jumped.
point, to your point just a minute ago, like show rates are really, really bad, especially if you're doing like cold calling and some
Yep.
of these like cold outreach methods. Like show rates to appointments are pretty much like less than 50% in a lot of cases, sometimes less. So anyway, go ahead.
And as you guys are starting out, that's the thing is you got to get them to, if you're cold calling them or reaching out to them, you got to get them to trust you as quickly as possible and get them to show up to your appointment. And that's like the big thing is getting into a conversation that could help you guys close more business. And I was just on YouTube looking at the issues and I stumbled across an Alex Hermosi video and he talked about how he got iPhones for each of his salespeople and just had them start messaging their prospects with their phone. Just pull out their phone and message them because they was having the same issue that we're all having. How do you get people to engage with you? Which is great. So we bought iPhones, sent it to all of our salespeople, which was cool, but I couldn't see what they were saying. I couldn't get the phone back if they left the company. If they called in sick or went on vacation, we couldn't see what was going on. So we had to come up with a better solution. And that's how Project Blue was born. We wanted to be able to send iMessages directly in high level because it helps you guys just build that trust way faster. Because let me just show you. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, yeah, you're
Okay,
sharing.
cool. So this was the issue we were having. Leads were coming in. We get into a conversation, but we'd still get ghosted constantly. And what my thought process was behind this is people don't trust the messages that we were sending because when we pull out the phone and message them, they'd see our picture, they'd see the iMessage, they'd respond to us. But when we send them the message from high level, we would just not get responded to. So your message unfortunately looks like spam, right? Because we all get those text messages constantly from spammers, and just people don't trust your message if you look like spam. And I know you guys on here are trying to either grow your business or get more business. And if you're going to spend that time and energy, I think it's important to make sure that first conversation is going to have an impact on those people. Because if you look like spam, they're going to treat you like spam. And that's not what you want to happen. So, what we teach our customers when they come on board with us is to do what we call the first message framework and audit your guys' first message. What are you saying to these prospects or leads that is going to lead to a conversation? Because if you're sending something like this from high level, and you guys could hopefully see all this with this giant brick message on here, you're probably not going to get into a very good conversation with the prospect. That doesn't lead to trust with these users. And that's what you want to happen. You want something like this. Like if you actually pulled out your phone and you sent a message to these people, it would look more like this does, where it's short, it's quick, it's going to build more trust because they think you're a person. And if you look like a bot, you're going to get treated like a bot. And that's what we want to hopefully help you guys avoid. Now we know this product's not for everybody, but hopefully you could take some of these nuggets and apply it in your current outreach. Because I could tell you just sending millions of iMessages, what would get you banned, pulling out your phone and messaging prospects and hurt your phone reputation, as well as if you're ready to upgrade into a product like ours, how to do that and where you're gonna, have the most likelihood of success with this. Our viewpoint is if you get into more conversation, that leads to more closes, right? So if you're talking to people either via text or calling them, all you want to do is get in those conversations. So if you're doing the cold calling, which I did forever, you just want to hit the phone as many times as you can, disrupt their pattern of, this is a salesperson, and then get them into a conversation. And that's what's happening usually with the messages that are coming out inside of high level is you kind of look like spam. What I did when I first got high level is I downloaded a list of prospects. I put it inside high level and I tried to blast as many people as I possibly could with the messaging platform. I don't know if you guys have done that, but I wanted to get success and get meetings as quickly as possible. So I just loaded this list up and blasted all these people with a generic offer. I can tell you all it did was cause me headache because my line got, suspended. Can you share the slides with us? Yeah, I'll share whatever you guys want. I can share all this thing with an open book for you guys. So hopefully this will help you guys get more value. But so when I blasted this list, I got suspended on high level and I wasn't able to send any text messages. And then when I was sending text messages or calling people, I would get that spam likely filter on my line. So then I had to go get a new number and go through the process. And you guys know with this A2P process, you don't really want to mess around with that stuff. They will ban your line and will suspend you pretty quickly. So you want to fix that as soon as possible. You want to make sure that you're asking relevant questions to the prospect to get people to reply. Use your name in a message. And if you're using your phone instead of high level, when you use your name and you call them, their phone sometimes will pick up and say, hey, might be Joe, right? Because I used my name. Hey, this is Joe from such and such. I saw you at a website, or I want to talk to you about these different issues. I don't know what you guys are reaching out to prospects to try and sell them, but you want to use your name if you can, because if you said, hey, this is Acme Coaching Company, or hey, this is Jason with Acme Coaching Company, when you call that prospect or follow up, their phone is going to try and indicate that this is a person, that this is Jason trying to reach out to them. And those workflows, if you set this up wrong, can hurt you in the long run. So instead of blasting people, you have to ramp up your messages. So Jasper, I think you teach calling them one by one, right? You go through Google and reach out to the prospects with a phone call. Yeah. So It's really good to reach out to the prospect with a phone call. As you guys know, if you're making these calls, which you should do, try and get your 100 calls in per day, a lot of people aren't going to pick up. So being able to send a personalized message to them instead of a blast is going to feel more human. So go ahead and audit your guys' messages that you're using in your sales conversation. Try and get them shorter to 1 to 2 lines max. No brick paragraphs inside your messages. It's okay to send multiple messages in a row if they're smaller messages. That's going to feel more like a human. And then try and be casual. You don't have to be perfect in your messaging to these prospects. Again, you want to look like a human, like you just pulled out your phone and messaged them. And be curious, ask them questions about their business. What's keeping them up at night? What do they want to achieve? A lot of times when you're reaching out to a business owner, this is a mistake I made when I was reaching out to business owners, is I'd say, hey, I want to send you more business. And think about that. If this business owner is, say, in the roofing space in June, he's maxed to the walls. Like he can't take on any more business. I'm a nuisance at that point to him. He doesn't want more business. He wants more freedom. He wants to use the boat that he bought that he doesn't get to use. He wants to go on vacation, but his business is running his life. So if you change your messaging with these people, if you really understand your guys' niche and prospect, you could reach out to them and try and get them what they want. They don't want a new website. They want those leads to convert while they're sleeping into appointments. So think about the messages you guys are sending to your prospects. Be real and try and connect with them on the pain points that they're having. Are all you guys high levelers, like trying to sell marketing services? Sweet. Okay, perfect.
Yep.
So yeah, keep it short, keep it casual. Be curious about the problems that you're trying to solve. So I know I was doing this for a long time as I was sending the message and I would say, hey, I want to bring you more customers. And again, that was attracting the wrong prospect. That was attracting the guy that had a hard time getting customers. When I changed my messaging saying, hey, I want to help you work less and make more money with these automations that we built for 4 other companies. And I want to show you how this works. And they're like, wait a minute, what? That's what I want. I want to work less and I want to make more money. I want freedom from the business. All these guys started a business because they didn't want to work for someone else. They wanted this freedom lifestyle that was put here. And hopefully all you guys want this as well. You want eventually to have a business that runs automatically for you. And you want that freedom. So speak their language in these messages is going to help you get into those conversations. And if you use this like framework of casual, normal conversations with these people, this works for any offer, whether you're selling SaaS, whether you're a marketing agency, whether you're in the telehealth space, because we have a program that's not only for customers like you guys getting more conversations or using iMessages, but we have a reseller program. So if you are an agency and you want to sell this to your sub accounts, we have a program for that as well. Because again, if we're helping you guys get retention with this product so that you guys can make more money. And don't be afraid to mix up the messages. Multimedia totally works. It works on me every single time, even though I know it's probably some automation. When they send me a funny GIF or a meme, I stop and I laugh and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I do got to reach back out to that guy and see what's going on. Because remember, these people are busy. They're usually so busy working in the business, they don't have time to work on the business. That's the guy you want to meet with. You want to meet the person that doesn't have time to work on the business so you could come in and do the stuff that he's not able to do. And he will gladly pay you money to do that work for him. So think about that in your messaging. It's okay to hit them multiple times. Just change up your modality. Send a picture, send a voice memo, send a GIF. This stuff works when you're trying to get through to a prospect. Because I know when I'm selling to these people, they're busy. They're running their business. They don't have time to stop and get on a demo with you. So hit them up multiple times, even if they ghost you, to send a message. And I use this this Pulp Fiction one all the time. Like, hey, I'm in the meeting. Where you at? Go ahead and hop on when you're ready. So it just lightens the mood, gets them onto the conversation, and a lot of times they come back and reply to that stuff. I use this Kevin Hart one all the time. Like if I send a proposal to someone and they don't respond to it or it kind of goes cold, I'll just be like, send them a funny meme to them and kind of be like, get them back into the conversation. This stuff works. When you guys are doing outreach or reaching out to prospects or in a sales conversation, all you're trying to do is disrupt their normal pattern of behavior. You don't want to sound like every other salesperson. You want to do things a little bit different because these people might get prospected to by 3 or 4 other people, and they're going to do business with the person they like, know, and trust that they connect with. So it's okay in your messages to be a little bit more personable, to be funny, to try and connect with these people. This stuff goes a long way. I know for a long time in my business, I was trying to be overly professional, and all it did was just put a gap between my customers and myself because I put that wall up. But once I got rid of that wall and was just more human with these prospects, their guard came down as well. And they felt more comfortable sharing the challenges they had in their business. And that's where you guys come in, is when they share those challenges, you're able to then offer your services to close their deal and hopefully keep them as a client for life. One thing that you might be doing too inside your guys' high level account is sending a response. So if you have a lead come in to your form and then boom, you send them a text right away, that's a dead giveaway that you're a bot inside the system. Now I know speed the lead is super important and you don't want to lose that person, but I put a little bit like a 5-minute, 6-minute delay on my first message to that prospect from when it comes in. So I could still capture that conversation or ask them the question, but I'm not sending something that's like right away. Also in your replies, because you guys can send high-level workflows where you could wait for a reply and send a message. So don't set your automatic wait times too quickly. Again, I'll reiterate, don't send these long brick messages. A lot of times you guys are building your workflows on your computer and you write your workflows in your emails and your messages. And then when you take it onto a small screen and you look at it, it looks like you wrote them a novel, like this long breakup text message that no one is going to respond to. So if you're writing your stuff on your computer, Go ahead and send it to yourself. See what it looks like on the small screen. How can I break that message up? Or how can I say that same message with less words so I'm not making this person read a novel every time I send this to them? That's the formatting tone we talked about. And then dropping medias and links before they reply. So if you pull out your phone and you send a message, iOS just did an update on here where they're trying to get more spam off here. How many guys use your phone or just use HighLevel? And I don't know if you guys survey people. Do you guys use your phone at all or just HighLevel? Yeah? Okay, cool. So if you're using your phone, you have to be careful to not hurt your phone's reputation. And one thing that Apple looks for, because we send millions of iMessages per year, they look at sending multimedia before you're into a conversation or sending the same message over and over again, because then it looks like a bot. It looks like a system. So really think about what the messages you're sending to how do I mix up the variants of messages so that these actually get responded to. And then make sure you follow up with a question. I like asking a question in my first message to these prospects because if I get them to reply, then I could send them multimedia. It's a lot harder for them to mark me spam inside the message. That's kind of the hack that we use is get a question out as quickly as possible and then get into a conversation with these prospects. Sending copy and paste text to everyone. So I do this, like I would have the list and I'd pull out a phone and I'd send the same message to all these people. Mix it up, have 3 or 4 different variants of that message so that you get around Apple's like bot detector inside the system. So just change them just slightly so that these messages don't look the same on every single device. All of the spam filters are getting smarter and smarter every single year. So use that to your advantage and think about how you could do it differently to get around that stuff. Because if your message never gets delivered or you look like a spam, you're just not going to get into that conversation. And if you don't get into that conversation, the likelihood of you closing that deal goes down significantly. And if you spent all that time and energy to do the work to prospect that person, might as well get into that conversation. That's the goal here. Obviously, if you're using HighLevel, definitely use stop and opt out language in your messaging. Our system uses actual Apple hardware, which is phone to phone, which is like you pulling out a phone and sending it to the prospect. If you pull out your phone and send it to them, you don't have to use stop and opt out language because technically iMessage is a chat platform, not an SMS. It's like sending a AOL Instant Messenger back in the day. So it's not regulated by the same rules. You don't have to use the stop and opt out language, which again helps you not sound like a bot. But if you're using HighLevel, definitely follow all those guidelines. You do not want to get your Twilio line suspended in any shape or form. These automated messages that don't sound human definitely don't work. Confirm your appointments instead of starting the conversation. So make sure that you confirm your appointments before you start these conversations. And then texting your brand instead of a person. So again, put your name inside these messages. All these things just make you look like a bot when you're sending these messages. And people don't want to do, I think, especially in this high-level space and small business owners, they don't want to deal with an automated tool or an AI. They want to deal with the person that's going to help them solve a problem. Now, you could be selling them AI to solve their problems at their business, but make sure that you treat them like a human and you're going to just get more conversations, which leads to more closes. Always honor opt-outs. So if someone tells you to stop or unsubscribe, hopefully you guys have the automation set up to do this, but just mark them D&D. These things get people into a lot of trouble when they're using SMS for sales. Don't do bulk blast cold lists, especially on your iPhone. What Apple's going to do if you do that, they're going to put mark junk under every single one of your messages, whether they're legitimate or not. So sending bulk blast cold messages hurts the reputation of your line in the long run. So hopefully this stuff is helpful. We always say warm up your messages. Any line that you get either with us or if you're using the HighLevel number is I don't use the blast, I use the drip method. And that way I have more control over my messaging, more control on when these messages go out to the people. If you're messaging in places like Texas, they have changed the rules even further than normal A2P 10DLC rules. They've added a new layer in Texas where I think it's across the board. Out certain hours of day, you can't message these people. So definitely look up where you guys are to not fall outside those guidelines. Like you're not supposed to message people on Sunday. You're not supposed to message people after 9 p.m. You're not supposed to message people before 8 a.m. So make sure you follow those rules so that you don't get flagged. The other thing Texas added is you have to get bonded and you have to add, you actually have to get approved on top of your A2P to message people if you're using iMessage. So say you do come on with our service, we cap how many new conversations you could have per day. This is what will get you in trouble. Even if you're using your own phone, you don't want to have more than 50 new conversations per day. And again, we send millions of iMessages per year. And we put a cap on the phones because we noticed once you send more than 50 new conversations, Apple thinks that you're trying to use this for marketing or outreach, and they'll start flagging your line. You'll end up in the spam folder, and they'll put, possible spam underneath all of your messages. So if you're using your phone to message, keep it under 50 per day. In high level, there is a ramp up that I don't think they publish it. I had to call them and talk to them to figure out your ramp up on your messaging and ramp up on your emails. But if you're new in high level, you could get on a chat, or when you do your onboarding call, they'll let you know what the ramp up is, because I don't know if it changed at all or how many lines you have, but there is a ramp up on your messages that you want to use as well inside the system. So make sure you guys know the guidelines so that you have the highest likelihood to get success with this thing. What's not considered new? So if you get into a reply and they actually reply to you, you could usually text with them as much as you want. The additional thread on that message is not a new conversation. So you can continue that conversation till the cows come home and message those people as much as you want to. Bumping up a free previous question with the first reply, that's using those memes that I talked about to bump those messages up inside the system. And then sending the GIFs and pictures and memes, all that stuff, voice notes. How many of you guys use actual voice notes? Not the voicemail drops, but the voice notes in your messages. Anybody? No. So this is a hack that we use, obviously, because we have the service. We're able to send Apple voice memos to a prospect. So in our system, I could go to any of the prospects, and I'm going to pull this up here and show you guys how it works. This is a hack we use. It definitely helps in getting more conversations. I could go into any of these. I'll go to the test conversation, and I could click the record, and it will just record what I'm saying, a voice memo. And then if I fire off this message, it'll be a native voice memo to that prospect. So maybe I sent a proposal to this person. We had a call scheduled. They weren't able to make it. I could record a ad hoc custom voice memo to that person to get them to re-engage with my prospect. This is super powerful. This is what our interface looks like. So we have a actual plugin that works directly in high level to send iMessages in high level, but we also give you this full web app, which lets you control, your line management. It lets you brand your contact card. This only works for Apple, but that way it's just more personal so that your Apple contact card comes over on the prospect. And then if you want to set up like AI voice memos, maybe you don't want to record voice memos, you could sign up for the 11 Labs plugin and have AI record your voice memos. And then if you don't want to use high levels lead form, we have a lead form as well that does some cool stuff inside that, as well as jump into any conversation or track all your reply rates inside our app. But the whole point of this is to help you guys close more business. That's why we built this thing, is if you're spending money on marketing, which I don't know if you guys are doing that yet. Maybe you're just getting started and you're doing your own outbound, you're getting your messaging, which is what I recommend, is starting that way. That way you're getting your marketing message down, you're getting your pitch down. So when you have a close, because Facebook and Google and these ad platforms, they're really expensive. And if you're spending that kind of money, you want to make sure that when those people come to your funnel, that you're able to convert them. And the best way to convert them starting out is pick up the phone and call them or text them and practice your pitch. Because when you get good at your pitch and you're ready for marketing, you're going to already know that I know what I'm going to say when this objection comes out. I'm going to know what I'm going to say when they ghost me on a meeting. I'm going to know what to say when I pull them back into a conversation. So it's really good to practice on your own outbound efforts opposed to buying the traffic straight away. But if you are ready to buy the traffic, that's where we come in. Because if you're spending money on marketing these leads, I know in some of my businesses, marketing could be $100 for just getting someone to click on our ad and get into our funnel. So if I'm spending $100 per lead, I want to make sure that I get these people into a conversation so I have a higher chance of closing these customers. And we custom build this out for everyone's business. And this is good to know too, because you could also resell this to your customers. And I'll show the pricing so you guys understand what this looks like. We set up dedicated lines. So we have some customers that want one line or one phone for each one of their salespeople. We have people that do shared lines, which is super budget friendly way to do this because you could share a line just like you do in high level and jump into any conversation. Or you could do load balancing. So these are for high volume senders, someone that gets a lot of leads and they need multiple lines. We would assign that phone number, that conversation to that prospect as they come into the system. So there's a bunch of different ways to set this up. We do this for all of our customers. We work with a lot of high level agencies to do this for their customers as well as sub accounts inside the platform. So the other good thing about this is we don't charge per message. It's unlimited messaging through us. So if you do get a high volume of senders, that might be the way to graduate. A lot of people start in high level and use the messaging that's in the platform because it's great. The LC phone works really, really well. We use it every single day. We use high level every single day inside of our prospects. But again, if you're dropping money on marketing or you want to resell this to your customers, that's where they come in and upgrade. Do we have any questions in the chat? I'm sorry.
Someone just said and Android as well, which
Great question. So our system works just like a cell phone does. If they're on Android, it's going to send them a RCS SMS message, basically. They don't have to worry about colors on Android. They could choose whatever color they want to, but our system allows us to send the RCS messages, which still has the multimedia inside that. Same thing on high level. If you're sending your messages from high level, you don't need to worry about that. High level does it automatically. They don't send iMessages, of course, so everyone's going to get an SMS if you're using high level. Good question, though.
Another question from earlier too is,
yeah,
which you've covered a little bit already. Can you give us some examples of messages like that work for client outreach, that kind of stuff? I know you showed a few earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, any
So
that you found.
Yep, cool. So the messages that you guys want to use is, so I don't tell you exactly what message you want to have because each one of you guys going to have your own offer and your own funnel, your own flow, your own sales process, whether you're getting them to a discovery call or getting them to an appointment. So we teach a message framework, which is like, how do I get them in a conversation? What is the question that I want to use to get them inside the conversation? Actually, I have a cheat sheet that I could share with you, Jasper, and you could get to them, which we share with all our customers about the first message framework and all the different message options in there to get ideas from, because I think that's what they want is to audit their own funnel and see what those messages. So I'll send that over. That's a ton of different messages are on there just from what we know works.
One thing that this has made me think of is like, so I've done a lot of like cold email, and in cold emails, what I'm looking for is I'm trying to send some sort of initial message through email to a prospect, and I'm trying to get them to reply back. And that reply back signals to me that that prospect is interested. So for example, I'll say in an email, "Hey, Mr. Business Owner, we built you guys a new website for your business and wanted to see if I could send it to you, question mark." And if they reply back, "Yeah, sure, send it over," that signals to me that this prospect might be somewhat interested in the website that I built for them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have replied at all, or they would say like stop or unsubscribe or whatever, and they would say stop emailing me. So same thing with this. You can send these messages out to these businesses saying, "Hey, we built you a new website for your business. Is it cool if I send you the link?" Just like Gavin was saying earlier, it's a super short message, looks very human, looks like you just sent it directly to them. It leads with value as well because you're saying, "Hey, we built you something already, wanted to see if we could just show it to you." They say yes. Then in reply, you send back maybe some sort of link to a website or link to a Loom video of you showing that website. But then what worked really well with the emails that I was doing is if we would cold call them as soon as they showed interest, yes, send it over, sure, I'll check it out, whatever. Call them up right away and get on the phone with them because it was really hard to book people in for appointments through back and forth email when they had never met me before.
Yep.
And I'd imagine, through text message, it'll be very similar. It's really hard probably to go back and forth through text to finally get a booked appointment. At some point, those people want to talk to you and like hear your voice just to build that trust when they're getting a text from somebody brand new that they've never heard from before, an agency they've never heard of. And so anyway,
No, you nailed
that
it. That's
just kind of
100% right.
started turning the gears in my head of how you could use this tool, whether it's, a message and go high level through LC phone system or it's through iMessage. The iMessage, I think, will just amplify it even more if it's a blue text message. And then you can send voice memos, like you said, the GIFs, all of that just will amplify that experience. But anyway, just some
I'll
food for
I'll
thought.
share this with Jasper too, guys. This is our 27 message reply engine. So this is what we share with our customers if they want to go and audit their all their messages. So we'll share this, which talks about, the messages that we use and how to get conversations and all that kind of stuff. So I'll share that and he could share that with you guys as well. But yeah, no, that is the name of the game. Like the more conversations you have are going to lead to more closes. That's what this is for. We don't use our system for outbound, just because Apple picks up on it too quickly to kind of kick you off the platform. So we do have customers though that use like LC for maybe some outbound and marketing, and then once they get into a conversation or do the booking process, then they switch over to our line for the booking process because they want to make sure those appointments show up if you're doing those kind of efforts.
Right on.
Yep, yep.
Well, cool. Is that everything you wanted to cover, Gavin?
Yeah, absolutely. We have pricing on our website. I could show you the different options if you want. If anyone's curious about that, let me know. We're just at tryprojectblue.com, and that goes directly to us. But for single line users, just to give you an idea, it's $300 a month on a month-to-month program, or we have a program that's 2K for the whole year for 12 months of service for one line. So we have a couple different options. If someone's an agency, we do have custom agency plans so that they could resell this to their users. We have a bunch of agencies that, run ads for people and they want to use our line to reply to those ads to make sure that those ads actually show up and get into a conversation. It just helps your guys' retention. Let's
And
see.
how I understand it is so they pay, we pay $300 a month to get this iPhone iMessage inside of our GoHighLevel account. And then we don't have to pay for credits, right? Because it's all iMessage. So
Correct.
one thing that a lot of people here, in GoHighLevel, we have to pay credits using GoHighLevel's phone system. So one thing I really like about the iMessage stuff is like, yeah, it's $300 extra per month that we're having to spend to use this inside of high level, but at the same time, if you were sending a ton of text messages and go high level through Lead Connector, you can spend $300 a month on text message credits. And so it's almost like like you're spending the money to pay for the subscription for send or for Project Blue, but then at the same time you're saving money on the credits. So anyway, if you're a high volume sender inside of Go High Level, then it could be very much worth it. And it could even eventually save you money if you're sending a large volume of text messages. So
Yeah, we've had a bunch of people switch over that had a high volume of message and they were able to reduce those credit lines. So
So anyway, yeah, I thought it's a good value at a certain point, right? But even if you're not at that point, like just having the ability to send the blue text messages, iMessage is still very valuable. Looks just that much more personalized whenever you're sending messages to your prospects and everything. So
yeah, someone had an interesting question. They said, I have a list of numbers. How do I know which prospects have an iPhone? So on your high level, you can't, like it's not going to show you that. Our system, we do ping the network, and I don't know, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little blue marker for iMessage or yeah, iMessage or iPhone users, and then there's green if they're a Android or SMS. So in our system, it does track that, and we run an automation. We give you a snapshot that'll tag everyone that's iMessage. So you could build iMessage workflows versus SMS workflows if you want to inside the system. And then we have the full analytics that show you the different reply rates from iMessage versus SMS, things like that. So,
And what is that typical across the board for like response rates versus like sending an iMessage versus a green text message?
well, we just did an end of year blast. Normally we're around 60% on the iMessage reply rates, but we did like an end of year blast. Obviously, we do that because we have multiple lines, and it doesn't cost us anything to do that. So, but usually people are getting double to triple their reply rates when they switch. Right now, you're sending all SMS if you're on an SMS platform. So no matter if they're iMessage or not, like they're still getting the green bubble from you. That's where the hack is because our iMessage reply rates are always higher than our SMS reply rates. And something about it, the iMessage users, when they see that green bubble, they just don't reply as much as they do from iMessage to iMessage.
100%. I believe it.
Right
Well,
on.
cool. Well, I appreciate you coming, Gavin, and doing this training.
Yeah.
If anybody else has like any quick questions they want to ask here in the chat, like we'd be happy to answer some of those. But that's all the questions that have been asked so far. But yeah, anyway, you guys know where to go. This is live right now, so this will be on YouTube. And if you guys want to rewatch any of this, y'all can go and check it out on my YouTube channel. And down below, I'll have like a link where y'all can check out Project Blue and learn more about it. And anyway, like Gavin said, like I'm saying as well, like it's maybe not a tool for everybody, but it is a good tool if you're at the point where you want to be able to send iMessages and potentially you're sending a lot of text messages through GoHighLevel and save the money. And yeah, so at a certain point, if you're starting to see some success in your agency, this would be a great tool to reinvest in and put some money into for sure. So
Awesome. I'll download this PDF of the slides so you guys can see all that and the message framework. I'll get that over to Jasper so you can put it somewhere that you guys have access to.
okay, awesome. Thanks, Gavin. Well, Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for joining. We'll do another one of these next week on Thursday. So we'll be doing them, every Thursday throughout the year, and unless there's holidays or anything like that. But appreciate y'all joining and hope y'all have a great day. Happy New Year.
Take care. Thank you.
Okay.